And so how has kind of the healthcare industry changed over that period of time? Because I imagine you've seen trends of things and products have changed, and obviously legislation will have changed, so that would have changed things compared to when, well, just after nappies direct. How do you think the industry has changed and the way people work in care homes has changed?
What I see is that standards of care have improved dramatically. I think through the shaping of inspection bodies and processes. So I see now, I know that there is always in the press, there always seems to be horror stories.
Yeah.
What I see is there's a hell of a lot of people working in the care industry who are absolutely passionate about providing the best levels of care for the people they support, which is wonderful. And it's wonderful to work with those people. And they are the people that, they're our tribe.
Yes. Well, the passion from you and from the company always comes across. You know, that's undoubtedly one of the reasons that healthcare services has gone on for 30 years is it's got a binding passion between all of the staff, and that comes from you as well. And it's quite clear that that is one of the things that makes the company stand out, and that you care so much as well about those people that are not necessarily your direct customers. Some of them might be, but that you're engaged with them and you want to help them and you want to help the care home managers to look after those people.
Okay, well, you know, it's really simple for me, Amy. I mean, I now have my own mum who lives at home, supported with full-time care and partly by myself and my sister, who is 98, just turned 98, with vascular dementia. And I've worked out that there are 5 key things that I think we want for our loved ones and the people in our care. And we want them to be safe. We want them to be comfortable. We want them to be able to live with dignity. We want them to be able to live as independently as possible. And we want to look after their health and well-being. So, you know, we are shaping our business based on what's good enough for mum.
Yeah.
So with everything we do, and with everything I do, and how we look at how we work as a business, there's always this thought in my head: would that be good enough for my mum? So I try products, I test products. Mum tests products. So she's my guinea pig. She's great, and you know, I've had some really big successes with her, which we can talk about in a bit. So, you know, the overarching ethos of this business is that we provide product solutions which meet those criteria and are fit for purpose.
So let's not wait. Tell me about what's happened with your mum and what you've been able to do there, and how the products have helped, and what else that has led to.
Okay, so in December of 2016, I got a call from my sister, and she said, "Are you driving?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, you better pull up. I've got something to tell you." And I knew it wasn't good news. So she said that basically what we knew that mum had been losing a lot of weight. She wasn't eating or drinking. She had no interest in eating or drinking at all at that stage. And she'd had a couple of falls. She'd had a urine infection and a chest infection. And basically, we'd had the doctor out to her, and the doctor had then reported back to my sister and said, "Your mum's given up. Your mum doesn't want, she's given up on life. She's not interested in eating or drinking. She's had enough. And you should prepare yourselves for the end." We knew that she wasn't well, but actually hearing that was pretty upsetting, as you can imagine, hearing that about your mum. However, I didn't believe it, because I know my mum doesn't want to give up. She's stubborn. She, at her best, likes to be as independent as possible. She actively discourages help. People try to help her and she will say, no, I want to do it myself. However, at this particular stage in her life, that wasn't the case. She was weak. She was distressed. She was, say, not eating or drinking. So I wondered what I might be able to do to change this. What could I do with my knowledge and working in the industry for 26 years? What could I do that might be able to change that? So I spent some time and I did quite a lot of research online, and I came across a really useful mealtime observation tool. And I sat with Mum for a couple of meal times, and I observed her behaviour during meal times. And I observed that when she was completely reliant upon her carer to assist her with meals. And I would watch how the carer would try and give her a spoonful of food to eat, and she'd literally turn her face away. She just wasn't interested. So using these observations, it then came back to me that there were some interventions that I could try that might help to change this.
Yeah.
And so I took over her mealtime experience for a while. And during that time, I was responsible for serving up and helping her at mealtimes. And we instigated and we introduced some adaptive cutlery and crockery, one of them being a keep warm plate, which was fantastic because trying to get Mum to eat was a challenge in itself and took a long time. So what's worse than actually eating cold food? There's nothing more that's going to turn you off than cold and unappetising food. So we introduced a keep warm plate and a special spoon because she wasn't able to open her mouth very wide at the time. So I got a flat spoon that was just going to give her really small mouthfuls. And I would sit and eat with her together, and we stopped distractions at mealtime. So we turned televisions and radios off, and we just sit and chat. It became a social occasion. And I would say that within a week of doing this at all mealtimes, Mum was back to eating completely independently, enjoying her food again. She loved the fact that I sat and ate with her, and we had a giggle, and it made her day. And coupled with the crockery and the cutlery, did make a huge difference to her.
What a turnaround, a really big achievement as well.
And she started to put on weight, and her health improved, and she celebrated her 98th birthday this month, and touch wood is still doing really well. Having achieved that with my mum, I then wondered how I could share that message with other people. I wanted to then use it to help as many people as I could.
Because you've already got that mentality, you've been doing that for so long, and it would, all of that knowledge has to go somewhere else, hasn't it? It can't just be stuck in one place.
No, and part of what I love about what I do is sharing the knowledge the knowledge and experience that I've gained over nearly 30 years in the industry. That gives me joy.
Yeah.
And why would I not want to? And coupled with that, the idea that I am helping you are helping people to live better lives, to have improved nutrition, hydration. That again gives me great joy to know that I'm helping to influence people's lives and how they live them and how well they are. So basically, I have written a guide which is called our Dignified Dining Solutions Guide, which is a free resource which is available to individuals, to care home managers, to care home proprietors, to anybody really who is helping to support somebody with dementia and is coming up against challenges. So in the guide, what we do is we address that, we acknowledge the challenges that there are around helping people to eat and drink better when they're living with dementia, and we take these challenges head on. We talk about people who are on modified diets, how to improve the presentation of their meals. We talk about helping to reduce the risk of weight loss. We talk about overcoming motor difficulties. We know what the challenges are. But what I wanted to be able to provide was a resource that acknowledged the challenges, gave best practice advice, hints and tips, and also, if there are products out there and solutions that will help to support getting over those challenges, that's all included within this resource, and it's free. And so many people have said to me, well, how much does it cost? And I say, well, it's free. And, you know, I see it as my little gift to the universe.
And I think it's a very powerful one. Yeah. And it's obviously something that you're very proud of.